Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Bunch of Nuts podcast. I'm Dan here with Big Cass. Big Cass, best thing about being 1-0 is a
Is to go
what?
2-0. To
The
go
chance
2
to
and
go
0.
2-0. Let's go. Yeah, Buckeyes. Big victory. They did not cover. Everyone's upset about that. I do not
Two
care about
points.
that.
2 points.
It's ridiculous. Everyone complaining. It was a
Yeah.
great win yesterday. I texted you this, brother. I was like, this is last year. Ohio State only scored over 50 points once, and it was the game against Western Kentucky when they scored over 60. Their next highest total was 41. So you to put up that many points, season opener, offense looked efficient. I had a lot of good things. I thought.
Yeah, I did think you saw that missing Donovan Jackson hurt a little bit. It took slower time because Austin Serveld, started for him. So there was a little growing pains for the offense starting. And I go to and say, of course, you're going to start slow. Everybody started slow. Heck, it was 6-0 Georgia, so on and so forth.
Oregon was in that tight one with Oregon.
Yeah, until
Idaho.
Idaho. I I I thought overall, do I give them an A on the offensive line? No, I give them a B plus. Like I thought the holes they opened up were pretty good. There was a few holes where Quinshawn, I'm like, dude, Quinshawn, why'd you cut it outside? Like you ran right into the block. But I will say this by Quinshawn, he does not get negative plays. Like he'll take something out of nothing.
He ran one. I think one of the runs. It was like a 2-yard run, but he just put his head down, and the announcers on TV were like, "Wow, what a run!" Just it was because he literally put his head down and took like 3 defenders for another yard.
And then there was one run. It was a counter stretch, and he ran right into Josh Simmons and G. Scott Jr. And it's like those are your blockers. They're moving their guys outside. You needed to cut that inside, and you would have had an 8-yard gain. Like it's little things, like the things, that's just me being picky and trying to find something negative because outside of the slow start, that offense was humming,
I,
and
I agree. I
and I
thought
think and I think Chip Kelly and Ryan Day were just trying to figure out how to distribute the carries between Travion Henderson and Quinshawn Junkins.
I absolutely got that vibe. I also felt like they were holding Trey back a little bit. It
Oh yeah,
felt like on the first drive, Trey looked super explosive, had that nice run, and then they kind of waited to give him the ball again, and they were kind of waiting. Trey looks so fast. Trey, like he remember he kind of got hurt, and he looked like he might have like lost a little burst. It feels like he got his burst back and has elevated, and we saw that block, insane,
he wrecked that linebacker.
like tough man. Like it's crazy. So I think Trey has elevated, and it's James Peoples. We saw James Peoples play, and I did call the touchdown. James Peoples can be a viable third back and actually get some carries. And it was one of my predictions that he's going to be part of the offense. I think as long as he holds on to the ball and like doesn't have any carrying issues, he's gonna see some carries too.
Yeah, I think he looks fast. He looks really fast, and then I think he looked great. And the thing is I thought all 3 running backs looked good, and that contributes to the offensive line. I thought overall the offensive line played good, and I thought the running backs played really well. But man, do our receivers need to learn how to block on the edge? Like this is where we miss Julian Fleming. Like there was some stretch counter runs that it's like, man, we could have got more than just 4 yards if our wide receivers were blocking downfield.
I also wish that the wide receivers, I've said this since last year, just they need to start faster. They don't like. I feel like every first couple drives, they're always kind of like sleepwalking.
Well, shoot, Jeremiah Smith doesn't drop that screen pass. He has 3 touchdowns yesterday.
And he's also lining up in the wrong spot. I know it might not be the best example with him because it was his first game, so you can maybe attribute those to jitters. But also, it just felt like Carnell Tate had a ball thrown to him. Like he looked slow, like kind of slow out of his first break. Do you remember that throw where
Mm-hmm.
Howard was looking and it just wasn't
Yeah.
route? And then yeah, and it just luckily though, thank goodness for Emeka Ibuka. I feel like once we got Emeka involved and like the offense was kind of they couldn't really figure it out. Emeka was able to settle them down, and it was like right away after they hit him a couple times.
And then Will Howard, like,
Oh, he looks like
how
Josh Allen, bro. He's
dude,
Josh Allen, and I hate to say that. That's my comp for him after watching him.
Will Howard, I think when he took off on that one run and just lowered his head and got the first down, and then got up and did the first down, dude, I think the whole stadium was like, we've been waiting since Justin Fields for this. Like, it's,
Yeah.
and believe it or not, that's 4 years ago, 4 seasons ago since we saw that. We know we had CJ Stroud, Kyle, well, 3 seasons. And of course we've had the Georgia game with with CJ Stroud finally running, but it was so nice to see a quarterback just take the ball and run and then just deliver some nice crisp passes. Even some of those drops looked really good.
I'll tell you what, bro. He is way more accurate than JT Barrett. Right away and my concern was maybe he'll have some bad throws. The ball zips out of his hands. It's a good spiral.
Dude,
Maybe he might have to be a little better. There was maybe one or two plays in the first couple drives that he might have made the wrong read. They might have to clean that up. It feels like, but for the most part, I was very
deep ball to Jeremiah Smith where Jeremiah Smith caught it with one hand. If the defensive back wasn't grabbing his other arm, that's a touchdown.
Yep.
That is a touchdown.
The one Emeka that should have been a touchdown.
Yeah.
He went back to sit, but I love because next play touchdown. So that shows you Will Howard is a dog. He's not afraid to throw. Well, I also just love to every time it felt like Akron got like a good rush on him. I've noticed that Will Howard is very good about making room in the pocket and then just setting his feet and looking downfield. I feel like he did a very good job evading pressure, and he was poised. Like the entire time, I was like, "Oh, Will's in control of this." I'm not.
Akron, I think Akron, their defense. I mean, they were sending blitzes. Like they were testing this offensive line, and I thought the offensive line protected Will. Outside of that one play where he tried to Houdini it, I think if he was able to Houdini it correctly to Trey, that's a huge gain, and we're moving on in the half. But outside of that one mistake he had where it was a fumble, Will Howard looked really good.
Yeah. And then what are your thoughts on the two guys who kind of started on actually there was three guys that kind of started out of nowhere. Austin Cyberfold, CJ Hicks, which that's not really, it's just because we only play two backers, but for Cody, and then the punter. It wasn't
where did that come from?
Apparently Ohio State's starting punter did not have a great week of practice. So what does Ryan Day do? He says, okay, Joe McGuire, like you're in. And by the way, he had a 51-yard punt. I did say we would have a punt over 50 yards. Special teams was very good. I thought Jaden Ballard wasn't bad at their kick returner.
No.
I think people were complaining he didn't let that one out of bounds, but I don't know if that was going to go out of bounds. I wouldn't take the risk. Just fair catch, and we're good. I thought. I mean, it was he did the safe thing. I thought so. I really no problem with that. But Hicks had a great day. I thought.
I saw the Pro Football Focus score and scored him really low. I don't like Pro Football Focus scores. I think they're a joke. But what impressed me the most is if you technically think about it, Sonny Styles had to learn how to play Mike linebacker in a week.
Yeah.
And I think Sonny Styles quarterbacking that defense, making sure everybody was in right position, he was fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
And you could tell linebacker is the spot he needs to be.
The defense was amazing. Two defensive touchdowns.
I want to call the University of Akron right now and say, hey, how can I get a hold of Ben Finley? Because I want to send him an ice truck. Because that dude I almost felt bad for that guy, Ben Finley, the quarterback for Akron.
I did too, but then I also didn't feel that bad because like they had their other quarterback in the game at the same time as Ben Finley, so I'm like, oh, he's warmed up, so just he goes under center. Like, why did they play with two quarterbacks?
And,
Why that
and
was
I
insane. No one's talking about it.
the first drive of the game, he gets knocked out. I'm like, okay, he's done for the game. And
Same.
he ends up coming back in. And it's like the dude just took a beating. Jack Sawyer had 9 quarterback pressures. Yeah, he did not have a single sack, but if you go back to both JTT sacks, Jack Sawyer caused that to happen because next thing you know, because Ben Finley fell right into JTT and Caleb Downs' arms in that one play. But Jack Sawyer was just that dude. He Ben Finley must have said something bad about his girlfriend or his mom or something because he was he was eating Jack Sawyer all night, man. Like all day.
No, dude, it's crazy. I don't understand. Like, so Gary Danielson. All right, we gotta talk about this. Gary Danielson, and I know he like is a Big Ten guy. He just looked so sad, by the way, on the
Oh
broadcast.
yeah, oh yeah. He's not ready for November yet.
He could not pronounce half the team's names correctly. He could not pronounce Travion's name correctly. Davison Igbinosin. It was everyone like could not pronounce the name correctly. It was crazy.
He
Um,
looks sad though. Like that picture you posted on Twitter. Like
yes,
he looks sad. It's the Brad Nessler effect, man. Todd Blackledge couldn't pronounce Wilson's name, Dontre Willis, and Brad Nessler was the play-by-play guy. So, I mean,
it was just all time. Um, back
wow.
to, back to the defense, brother. Yeah, I thought Sawyer was really good. Um, I thought Tyleek Williams, and I know you say you don't like Pro Football Focus. Pro Football Focus has him at number, looks like 2, I guess, in their rankings overall, because it has number 1 Malachi Starks,
See,
and they have him number 2 Tyleek Williams. After the performance, it says Tyleek Williams recorded a sack in a hurry from 24 pass rushing snaps, but run defense was really where he made his mark. In Ohio State's season opening win, he registered 3 tackles, resulting in a defensive stop, and earned a 90.6 PFF run defense grade across just 16 run snaps.
I I mean, I get why they do them, but I like to watch with my visual eyes. What I saw in Tyleek Williams. There was not one person on that defense that played bad. That played bad.
No, 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 I agree.
And you saw the Caleb Downs effects. Every play went away from Caleb Downs. Every play. Like they even had Caleb Downs lined up in the trenches, man. Like they had some, but they also played base defense because if you notice, they didn't really do a bunch of blitz packages. They just said, "Go." We're better than these guys physically, and go beat them. Like go beat them. And I'm glad that they really, like Jim Knowles said, we're going to play base defense because in reality, they don't really have to dice anything up until we play Iowa or Oregon. And this helped too help with Cody Simon being out. It's going to help because when we do have to run 3 linebackers, we can run Gabe Powers, we can run Arvell Reese, we can run CJ Hicks, we can run Sonny Styles and Cody Simon. We're going to have 5 linebackers we can rotate for when we play Iowa, who's not in that spread offense.
I agree. Um, for Akron fans, I gotta say this: not bad, not bad. Like they had a lead on us at one point. Like it.
Yeah, I have to tell you this story. There was a dude diagonal from us. He was so excited they got up 3-0. He made his wife take a picture of him in front of the scoreboard because we were sitting like almost dead on. It was the funniest thing ever. He's like, "Babe, take a picture of me with thumbs up with the score in front of the scoreboard."
I always love when when a bit like a team like us or Bama or anyone playing a team like a lower level team kind of like that, and the other team takes a lead because they just got the ball early, and it's just like stop the count, stop the count.
Do you know Lee Corso back in the 70s? when he coached at Indiana, called timeout and took his team up to the scoreboard and got a picture with his team when they were up against Ohio State.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, look it up. Look it up. It's a true story.
That's hilarious.
So, special teams, I am so excited for Brandon Ennis. He is going to take one back by the end of the year, and he almost did this week. And he caught the ball at the 4-yard line and took it to the 34-yard line, like on that one drive. And I was like, man, this is so nice to have a punt returner that's not going to call fair catch all the time.
Dude, we've been hyping up Brandon Ennis for a while now, but I'm just so excited he's our punt returner.
Yeah.
I tweeted this out after his first punt return. I said Brandon Ennis is definitely the best choice at punt returner. His mentality is perfect for the position, and it's because he's not afraid. He attacks the punt. Like, he might muff a punt or two. If that happens, we can live with it because he's just his mentality. He's aggressive. He's gonna go make a play. He wants to make a play. He's a little reckless, but it's great. And he's shifty. He's perfect. Like, I couldn't be more thrilled that this guy's our punt returner, and he's gonna get one for sure. If he stays healthy, one's going to the crib.
Yep, for sure. Before we do our Buckeye Leafs and get out of here until this week when we do our preview for Western Michigan, let's run down some Big Ten scores. Penn State 34-12 over West Virginia. Heard it was like a 2.5-hour rain delay down there.
Yeah.
Tune in your dial for this. Iowa 40, Illinois State nothing. Iowa scored half of their points that they scored last year. Total.
Cade McNamara had literally the same. I know different teams and stuff, but Cade McNamara had the same exact stats as Will Howard this week in that game. It's kind of funny if you pull it up.
Maryland beat UConn and won 50-7. Purdue beat Indiana State 49-0. Indiana won over FIU 31-7. Nebraska beat UTEP 40-7.
Very impressed by that one. Very impressed by Nebraska.
My brother seems to think that Dylan Raiola is the great value version of Patrick Mahomes. I kind of see it. Northwestern beat Miami, Ohio 13-6. I heard that view of the stadium was beautiful because Lake Michigan was nice and blue.
Honestly, I got my take after this game, after seeing how it ended. I think the best place to be in America yesterday was that game. It's 13th game on the water. Like, wow, what a stadium, what a treat.
UCLA barely beat Hawaii 16-13. Washington won 35-3 against Weber State. And on Thursday, Greg Schiano pissed some people off again when he scored with 17 seconds to go in the game to go up 44-7 against Howard. North Carolina wins 19-17. That poor Minnesota Pyro guy
sent the fireworks off.
Sent the fireworks. And then Oregon 24 Idaho. We're going to talk about, which we're going to talk about after this. Beat Idaho 24-14, and not Dylan Raiola, but Dylan Gabriel was sacked 6 times and pressured 12 times against Idaho. They've got Boise State coming in next week, and then Oregon State. They better fix that off. People are talking about Ohio State fixing that offensive line. They better fix that offensive line. They've got 6 days to do it before Boise State comes into Autzen.
Gabriel did throw for 380 yards and 2 touchdowns.
He also threw the ball 49 times.
He did. It wasn't a great game, but
no.
It's going to look, when you look at it on the stats, it's not going to look as bad.
No. And then Michigan, the team up north, 30-10. And what kills me is the 86-yard pick six. Sharon Moore got down and posed with the team after they get the pick six, and that's when you put relax. It's Fresno
Fresno
State, but
State, they did everything right, Cash. Everything right, except they ran the same screen fake play like 3 times on Will Johnson, and Will Johnson got cooked all night until they
the
ran
dude dropped a touchdown pass in the end zone against Will
they,
Johnson.
they ran the same fake the one receiver runs a screen like a bubble and the other one goes, and they did it 3 times in a row, and they finally did it the third time, and they actually threw the bubble screen, and Will Johnson figured out the play by then because you just did it 3 times on him. He's gonna commit to one and pick six. The most maddening. Fresno State, like, you did everything right and
Yeah.
you threw it all away at that minute.
When they had the chance to go up, they had a chance to go up 17-16. The dude number 0 cooked Will Johnson and then dropped the touchdown pass. Dropped it. Like, it's like, what are you doing, guy? And then that's when Michigan went down and scored. I will tell you,
They covered.
they covered the spread,
Which, all
but
right.
they didn't cover the over.
No, they didn't cover the over. I did, Cass, I gotta say this. You are very sharp with your picks. I did take the Fresno plus 20.5, and that did hit for me. So thank you for that.
Oh yeah, Michigan's got a long way to go. Oregon's got a long way to go. Penn State. I mean, obviously, I think Ohio State. We looked really, really good, but Penn State and Ohio State right now, unless we see tonight what USC can do, it after week 1, it's only week 1.
I'm gonna throw Iowa in there too. The offense,
yeah, Iowa,
much better.
and you know what? Who did we have Ohio State playing in the Big Ten championship? Penn State and Iowa. We might know ball. We might know ball.
We know ball.
After week 1, Iowa and Penn State look primed to play Ohio State in the Big Ten championship.
Take a look. I'm gonna pull up our playoff bracket real quick, brother, because I think we're looking. Well, no, you had Florida State.
Yeah.
That's the killer. That's the killer.
Yeah.
I had the U, and I had Kansas. Kansas looked unreal.
Hey, Miami. I still have Miami in the Final Four, though.
I'm feeling very good about my picks right now. Are we going to talk about Georgia Clemson?
Do we need to? I mean, let's talk about Roddy White's tweet.
Oh, all right. I'm not going to lie. And he's correct. He's absolutely correct, actually.
He is correct, but the way he worded it should not be worded.
People were like, what if someone else said this?
It is true.
Fair point. I will say, I did text my buddies when I noticed Clemson had a white cornerback. I'm like, oh, they're cooked. Because there's a difference between an Iowa white quarterback and a Clemson white quarterback. You know what I'm saying? There's just levels to this.
Right. So, I mean, Clemson's bad. They are bad. And I don't know why they continue to get hyped. And because Dabo, he needs to adjust. He needs to do NIL, and he needs to do the transfer portal. If not, Clemson's going to go back to being bad.
I feel like he knew this was coming because he canceled all the people who were able to call into the radio show. He no longer took callers, so I think he did that purposely. We're not shocked. I will say I think Clemson has a decent defense. Eventually, when the offense can't really do anything, the defense will always break down. That's just the way it goes in football.
Right.
For the most part, though, they played a really good first half against Georgia, and he's got a defense. They'll contest. I mean, I think
the ACC is bad, so they'll be able to.
I think they will probably be a 9-win team, maybe 10 if they get. I could see them losing 2 more games, but getting to the ACC title. And then,
they're losing to Florida State and Miami.
No, they're beating Florida State. They're going to beat Florida State. They won't beat Miami.
Yeah, we'll find out if Florida State got better tomorrow night when they play Boston College.
Florida State, the Florida State Clemson game is going to be like that meme of like the two lobsters fighting, and then everyone else is like behind them gambling. And that's like going to be all like the contenders, like Ohio State, Oregon, Bama, Georgia, and it's going to be Clemson, Florida State fighting.
Oh, I can see you now. You're about to make that meme.
It's actually going to bang. I think I'm going to do this in a little bit.
Yeah.
Buckeye Leaves. Gotta give out the Buckeye Leaves. We forgot.
All right. We got special teams, defense. Well, one each. Special teams, offense, and defense. I'm going to start with my special teams. I'm going with the punter. I thought get the 1 yard punt. I thought he was solid. And he didn't punt a lot, but when he did punt, he was very solid. And I thought the special teams as a whole was really good.
I mean,
I don't even know the dude's name. That's sad.
Joe McGuire.
Joe McGuire.
Put some respect on Joe McGuire out of Melbourne, Victoria. He is Australian. He's just like, I think he's the other Australian. So he doesn't get any credit. No shocker here, brother. I got Brandon Innes, punt returner, 4 punts, 60 yards, a long of 36. Did not muff it once. And I will say, getting 60 yards on punt return for a game is pretty good. That's 60 extra yards. That's like half the football field when you think about it. Not bad, Brandon. Not bad.
Yeah. Defensively, I'm going with this one's tough. I know Gabe Power scored a touchdown because there's so many we can give Buckeye Leafs too. I mean, and I feel like I would do a homer pick because of Fairfield County Sports. I do this games, but I think I'm going to go JT Tuimoloau. Sack and a half. We finally see the explosiveness that JTT has done outside of just only in the Penn State game, and I think he's well deserved. Well deserved.
I'm going with my guy, Tyleek. 7 tackles for a defensive tackle. Are you serious? A sack, 1.5 tackle for loss, and just an absolute anchor. I don't think we'll appreciate how good he is until he's gone. Just what a day.
Exactly.
What a day, Tyleek.
Absolutely. Offensively, I'm going Jeremiah Smith, man. 6 catches, I believe like 90 some yards and 2 touchdowns. Almost had a third touchdown. So I'm going Jeremiah Smith.
Good pick. I'm going with the man himself, the leader of this team, Will Howard. Great day, great debut, no complaints at all. 17 for 28. Maybe we can get the completion percentage a little better, but it is week 1. 228 yards, 3 touchdowns, very efficient on the ground too. 4 carries, 18 yards, a long of 19. Put his head down, got the first down when we needed it. Threw some dots for our receivers to catch too. And honestly, the receivers could have left some catches on the table, I think, for him. And Will was fantastic. He gets a Leaf.
Awesome, man. Good show. So good show.
Yes, sir. As we kind of wrap up, we still got Clemson. Not Clemson. Oh my God. USC, LSU, not Clemson. How do you think this game ends after seeing everything this week?
High scoring. I think high scoring.
Yeah, I agree.
And something tells me USC is going to pull it off.
Something
tells me USC. I know what was our picks. Did we pick this one?
I'm pretty sure I took USC. I think you took.
I think I took LSU. If we picked it.
Pull up. I took USC. We both took USC.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, so if I just feel, I feel like they're gonna win it. I really do.
All right, we're home reviewing the picks real quick. Michigan, I took Michigan minus 20 and a half. You took Fresno State plus 20 and a half. You won there, so I'm 0-1. You're 1-0. We both took Penn State, so you're 2-0. I'm 1-2. I took A&M 1-2. You're 3-0. Yeah, dude, you cooked. You took Georgia minus 13 and a half. I had Georgia minus 13 and a half. So tonight, yeah, bro, tonight you can be 4-0, it looks like.
I mean,
2, 3, 4, 5-0. 5-0. I can't count. Yeah, Fresno State, Penn State, Notre Dame, Georgia. I'm 2-2 right now. I'm trying to get a win. It's a big night. I need to get back to 500.
and then I'm right there. So I've only lost one this year, right?
Yeah, you're a madman. It's insane.
And I'm not the one that bets.
No, honestly, I bet your picks now. I think it's either I'm
I'm
right and
like
I'm happy, or yeah.
I'm like the guy. I'm like the bear, but probably better.
Oh, 100%.
So I guarantee it. Next time we have like a Buckeye tailgate and your buddies are going to be there, they're going to be like, "Who should I? Who are my picks? Who am I picking?"
Yeah.
Because they said that they tell you to start using my picks last week or something like that.
Yeah. Dude, you have some good picks. Like it's insane.
And I watch a lot of football, and I don't bet or anything, but I watch a lot because, and I probably watch little bit more than the average person. May not on game day, but like during the week, I'll watch games because that's how I learn as a broadcaster when I do high school games.
Hmm.
When I we were at Bloom Carroll Friday night, we had the people in the press box, man. They're like, "You guys are really good. Like, you guys know what you're talking about." And not saying the TV people that were there didn't know, but yeah, it just feels good to people giving you compliments.
Oh, absolutely. Everyone go be nice to someone. Give people compliments.
Don't
Well,
rip their helmets off and punch them in the face.
definitely don't do that. That's that's something Miles Garrett would do. Or
Or some 9-year-old for Pickerington.
all right.
All right,
Well,
we're going off a little off.
that's all I got, brother. Anything else?
No, that's all I got.
Thank you so much for listening to another episode. We'll be back Thursday. Go Bucks.